and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I am doing the first part of my March project life. Hopefully there will be a second part as well, but my phone decided to act really strange when I was recording it, so it would start recording for like 10 seconds and then cut out, but I am hoping that I still managed to get enough because it would record for odd amounts of times, that I will be uploading the second part next week to this. So this is the first time that I've had any Studio Calico stuff, so all of this stuff predominantly is from there. So that is what I'm using. So to begin with, I'm just going through all of the cards. So I'm just gonna say what I got and I can't really remember what came from what. So I got These Are the Days Documenter kit, the Stay Wonderful die cut leaves, chipboard heart and arrow gold, I don't think I use those, Colour Theory die cut labels, Colour Theory grab bag, Hello Adventure travel notebook insert, and a mystery label sheet. So they're all of the things that I got from my order. So yeah, I don't know what parts came from what, but yeah, so obviously the cards came from Documenter kit and I decided to go for a really bright kind of vibe. It was a summer kit, I believe, from last year. It doesn't really fit for March, like the photos are quite dark and gloomy, and I probably should have gone for something a bit different, but I kind of see March as like the first month that is turning, so I wanted to go for all the fun colours. So I've got these heart acetate things that I'm just going around and adding in, and I end up using quite a lot of them and using them kind of as a main piece. So for my title card, I had the word March, and I've got for each month I've got it in white, but the white just wasn't standing off against that card. Although it does have a rainbow in the background, it also has a lot of white. So I ended up just getting a Tombow and colouring in the month in a grey colour, just so that it would stand out a bit more. I'm also kind of making my own 3x4 filler card with the hearts. At the moment I plonked on some extra like floral bits and I don't think they look particularly good, but I end up changing that. I also have these labels that came in the Documenter kit as well, I believe, that I am just placing around. So kind of they're the main three elements. I've got the cards, the acetate heart and the floral die cut bits and the labels, and that is mainly what I use to kind of create the basis for it. In a second I will start attaching the hearts, and I just do this with a normal stapler. I never was tempted by a tiny attacher, but I'd quite like to see the size difference, because I do have a normal stapler that I can just use, but I think it being smaller might look cuter in certain aspects, so I'd be intrigued. I'm not saying that I will definitely buy it, but I'm saying that I'm intrigued by it. So that's how I end up doing that, and then I just use kind of glue for the rest of it. So here I come in with my stapler, and I spend some time faffing, making sure that I've got the hearts nicely lined up. I hadn't thought about it until it didn't work on one of the staples. I'd kind of been stapling just as I felt, but it's kind of important to make sure you get both staples through the bit you're adhering so that it doesn't swing around, because if you just put it with just one side of the staple in, it can move about still. So it's important making sure that each shape has two staple bits on it. You don't necessarily so I was doing double staples more for the aesthetic look, but it was also helping to keep it in place because I would have one end of each staple on each heart. I feel like I've just made that really waffly, but yeah. I also had just done my nails in this, and so I decided that I was peeling up the edge of the double-sided tape and it was chipping my nails slightly, so I actually started using the Cricut, I think it's used for is it called weeding the out bits? Anyway, it's just like a pokey tool, and it's so good at getting up the double-sided tape because of the way it's hooked round. I was using the pointy edge to like dig under, but before that, kind of the more flat bit of that just scraped down so that it was like really pressed down, made it really easy to scrape off the double-sided tape. So I definitely will be using that a lot more in the future, as double-sided tape is what I use and will be using for quite a while until I have my own space and can think about maybe getting an ATG gun or something like that. I also had the chipboard from the Documenters kit, and I really want to use some of it, but it is very like summery, and like the words on it don't quite work for March. So yeah, just kind of playing around with that. I think I do end up managing to use one on the March card at the top. So yeah, the photos, like I said, they're all quite dark. March, I had a lot of university work and I was just very busy. The top row photos are from a evening we had with my boyfriend and his family and his grandparents, playing card games. And the second picture is the cat with a poker chip balanced on his head. He is the funniest cat because he just likes being around people, like he just likes being with people, and so you can do things like balance a poker chip on his head and he really couldn't care less. He's just happy to be sat with everyone, and he barely, I think once or twice he's like, you know, got annoyed, hissed and like scratched someone, like run away. You can do pretty much anything, he just doesn't care. So balancing poker chips was what we were doing. Then on the next row, middle row on the left, I went out for lunch with my friends to the pub. So I just managed to grab a photo of our food. Sometimes I find it easier just to grab like a photo of the food is easier than grabbing a photo with my friends in it. But yeah, trying to make more of an effort to actually get photos of things and remembering to take the photos. Next photo along, me and my boyfriend, we were trying to break up, just sat in desks doing work, so went to get a coffee in town just for like a quick 10-15 minute walk, and he got coffee just kind of to give it some purpose. The next photo is my parents. We were watching Escape to the Countryside, and it was in an area that they bought a house, so they were looking at the houses and feeling really triumphant, like haha, we've managed to get a better house than that, or I don't know. Especially because the house prices have risen so much in the UK. They'd paid so much less than, and it was only a year's difference. Then the next one was, and that was all joking around. And then the next one was where I've left some space to do some journaling, and I talk about doing lots of revision. Then on the bottom row are just some silly pictures of my boyfriend, and the reason he came back was he has a tower PC that he built when he was 14. He's now 23, so it was getting quite old, nearly 10 years old, and so he wanted to start using it again, and so he needed to get the parts. He decided to just upgrade certain parts, and he wanted his dad's help putting it together, so he brought that home. So I got some pictures of them doing that, and it actually did take longer than he thought. So that was the whole first evening when he got back for like 3-4 hours, and then basically the whole next day. So yeah, so that was quite a bit of our time one weekend. But yeah, it was a very fun time. So now, as you can see, I am just gluing down the March thing, and I actually like how the this comes together. I like the hearts. I've tried to balance, so put the warm toned hearts on the cool toned part of the card, and the cool toned heart on the warm part of the card, but then I've kind of just put warm other bits on, just kind of because it went well. Not really any other reasoning for that. I was getting glue everywhere for some reason. Normally I'm quite good, but I was just using a bit of kitchen roll to dab and kind of fill any bits. I think this is where I managed to put one of the little chipboard embellishments on the title card. I'm really happy with how the 3x4 filler card came out with those hearts and just like the simple yellow word phrases. I think the yellow word phrases came in the Documenter kit as well. They're really fun. but again, very summary words, so I'm being quite careful and selective in the words that I choose, and spreading them all around. I really enjoyed using Studio Calico stuff. It was really fun. I actually managed to get the stuff. It was the old kits were already like 25% off or something, and then the whole site you could get 40% off, and it let you stack the codes. So I got all of these bits for, I think, including shipping, like $70, which is about £50. So I was so happy with all of the stuff that I got for the price. It meant that I didn't do as much shopping in America as I'd planned, as this kind of was a big purchase that I'd made before we even went out there. So that was really exciting. Yeah, so I had a good time out in America, looking at all of the different scrapbooking things. It was really interesting. I managed to go to Tuesday morning. They didn't have much, but I did manage to pick up a Cartabella Happy Days collection pack, I think it is. I already had that collection pack, but I'd used it for creating a mini album, so I thought that it'd be kind of a nice thing to pick up some more, and like, you know, I already had a bit of stash that I'd got through, so it was fun. And I got a Plant Lady one, and I also got a Travel-y one. I also got some boxes that I didn't think would fit in my suitcase, but my mum persuaded me would. Yeah, so I had lots of fun. So I'm just going around now with these pearl adhesive pearls that I kind of used to finish off all of my scrapbooking layouts. So yeah, just going through and adding some of those to make the page feel finished. And I think that is pretty much all that I do for this. And I will be showing you a little close-up of all of the pages in a second. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, as it means a lot to me. Also, let me know down below what your favourite brand is for Project Life. Are you the sort of person that uses Studio Calico? Are you the sort of person that uses collections that might be actually more tailored to 12 by 12, but use it in Project Life? I find it really interesting to hear how everyone scrapbooks, as it's so different. So yeah, please let me know that down below, as I am very intrigued. So now I'm just doing the close-ups. You can see how I've adhered the hearts with the staples. I really enjoyed how this came out looking. Although it was more of a gloomy month, it definitely it was a fun month around all of the work. So fun to make it look fun in the album. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.